Man plots the perfect revenge on neighbor who kept blocking his parking spot. We don't choose our neighbors. You either make it or break it. One Australian mechanic, known on Reddit as Angry Aussie Gamer, had neighbors that turned his daily life into a nightmare. After a long day at work, all Angry Aussie could think about was a night out with his pals. As he left the house, he noticed something in his apartment building's garage that ruined his mood. Some strange car had blocked him in. He waited around, hoping the driver left the vehicle there while making a quick drop-off. But Angry Aussie was out of luck. With no other option, he had to call one of his friends to pick him up instead. Then things got worse. In the weeks following, the rude car kept showing up at odd intervals, preventing Angry Aussie from driving. He left a series of polite notes on the perpetrator's windshield, but he never saw any response or change in behavior. He couldn't believe this. Frustration building, Angry Aussie guessed that the driver was someone who repeatedly got drunk and conveniently forgot to move his car out of the way. It was a decent theory, but he had no hard evidence of how to identify this serial jerk. Angry Aussie came across countless examples of people responding to bad parking jobs on the internet. Unfortunately, this car owner didn't seem to respond at all to shame. The mechanic would have to apply a different strategy, and fast. The rude neighbor was making him late on an unpredictable basis. He never knew when to expect the car to block him in, so he would often have to walk or hitch a ride without warning, and Angry Aussie had one upcoming obligation he couldn't miss. It wasn't often that he and his 6 closest friends could all get together, but they had a weekend getaway coming up that required Angry Aussie's car. In order for the special trip to happen, he needed to make sure he wasn't parked in. Hoping the proper authorities could take care of the problem, Angry Aussie contacted his building manager. The guy refused to even address the problem or even identify the car's owner, so the mechanic decided to get more serious. When he found himself parked in yet again, Angry Aussie called a towing company. Because his vehicle was up on the garage's 3rd story, however, they would not accept the job. He would have to take matters into his own hands. Not long before his big trip, Angry Aussie searched through his auto shop for some tools to help him out of his jam. He smiled, a rarity in those days, as he came across just what he was looking for. The morning of their big vacation, Angry Aussie and his friends entered his garage to find the worst possible scenario. The jerk blocked his car again. Strangely, Angry Aussie didn't lose his cool. He just ran upstairs and grabbed a strange metal contraption. He explained to his pals that he borrowed a vehicle positioning jack. Its wheels and hydraulic pump would allow them to easily lift the car up and move it wherever they wanted. Rubbing their hands in glee, the friends got in position. As they boosted the car up, Angry Aussie's eyes darted around the garage. While they weren't doing anything illegal, like stealing the car, it might not look that way to any security guards in the area. Luckily, the coast looked clear. Moving as quickly as they could while pushing a 2-ton car, the 7 mates each got a handhold and started to heave it toward a distant, dark corner of the garage. Angry Aussie's plan soon became apparent. He found a spot at the edge of the garage where they fit the rude neighbor's car perfectly between the wall and a pillar. The owner would easily be able to enter or exit the car, but moving it would be another matter. With only a few inches of space in the front and back of the vehicle, its driver would have a miserable time getting it out. Most likely, he'd have to angle it forward and backward a staggering number of times to pull it out of the spot. Satisfied with their work, Angry Aussie and his 6 friends jumped into his car and sped out of the garage. Each of them agreed they'd never had so much fun parking a car before. They were far from your typical valet service. During his getaway, Angry Aussie couldn't help thinking about the jerk driver. How long would it take him to find the car? Would he even try moving it? As soon as he got home, he returned to the scene of the crime to check. Expectedly, the car was still there. Just the sight of it was discouraging. A few days after, the car disappeared and was never parked there again. Angry Ossie could now rest easy. His revenge successfully worked.